What's up, everyone?
Hey, Steve. Good evening.
Dude, good evening to you. It's good to be in almost the same time zone as you for a change.
Yeah, we can kind of relate. Like we're doing a podcast at night together. Usually it's kind of either or usually it's
Yeah.
you at night, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, me at night, you in the morning, something like that. Yeah, man, we're like on the same wavelength right now, which is nice for a change.
Yeah, it is good, honestly. I mean, and travel problems, it's nice to have that.
Dude, speaking of travel, what are we doing in January? I'm leaving for Mexico on Sunday, and I was curious if you were going to pop down there anytime soon.
I really want to. Yes. I mean, I'm gonna go for the wedding, but I definitely need to like have some extracurricular activities in Mexico before and after, you know.
Wait, are you still gonna come to Puerto Escondido with me?
Yes, yes. Is that before or after the wedding?
Um, I think I've sent you the date like
20
four times
times?
now. Yeah,
Okay, I'll just read our conversations. But yes, I am going
yeah.
to that.
I don't remember. I think it's after the wedding though. I think it's like later in February, if I'm correct. But yeah, recheck the messages, buy a flight. Let's go.
So where are you flying into? Our viewers are probably pretty interested, Steve.
Yeah, I think Puerto Escondido itself. Or are we talking about that?
I'm talking about the 7th, and I just looked up our messages. We're going the 28th of February.
Okay, perfect. Sick. All right. This Sunday, I'm flying to Cancun. I've been there before, but never lived there long term. I've gone for like a few days at a time and stuff, but I'm going to stay there for like a month or 6 weeks, something like that. So, should be exciting. And we got the wedding there. Yeah, I'll have to show you some of the cool spots around there. Like, I think I've told you about, have you been to Puerto Morelos? I forget.
Is that like along the coast?
It's just like right next to Cancun.
Okay, I don't think so.
But the cool thing about Puerto Morelos is it's on protected land, so you can't build much property on it. So there's not like the giant resorts all over the place like you get in Cancun and
Oh,
Playa del
okay.
Carmen. So it's like between those two places, like those huge tourist hubs, but it's still like kind of a small, charming, cute little town. So we'll have to hang out there a bit while we're
So,
there.
but you're gonna stay in Cancun, but you'll be fairly
Yeah.
close to this place.
Yeah, yeah. Cancun just had way more options, so we're staying in kind of the downtown area there.
Dude, you should stay in an all-inclusive resort for 45 days. Like, there's gotta be one you could go to. I mean, that could be crazy. That's like the Super Size Me documentary.
How much of the like fake food can you eat? Dude, last time I went to one of those, it was in Cancun. It was probably the worst steak I've ever eaten. I mean, this thing was like flat and gray. It didn't even look like a steak.
Dude, it's so bad. Every time I gotta go to something like that, it's like by the fourth day, I can't, the food is like, I'm like eating the pizza and the French fries. Like, that's the only thing like that's good to me at that point. Like,
Low key, the breakfast is the best part. Like, cause I don't know, it's like bacon and eggs. Like, you can't get too crazy with that. So I feel like the breakfast is usually pretty solid. They have fruit, you can't like fake fruit usually. Then once you get into the dinner stuff, that's where, it gets a little weird.
yeah, you gotta book one of those in hotel restaurants or something. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask
But,
you this, Jack, real quick.
okay.
How was your Christmas? Oh,
My Christmas is great, honestly. I got a gift card. One of our close friends is gonna love this. I got a gift card to Top Golf.
nice. Yeah,
So
one of our diehard listeners. Shout out John Lee, the
yeah,
biggest
shout
stag of
out.
all. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I think there's a Top Golf around here, so I'll have to go to that.
for sure.
Do
Miami
you
probably
like Top?
has like multiple.
Yeah, that's true. Do you like Top Golf, Steve, or more of like a
Yeah,
normal?
dude.
Okay, okay, cool.
I like normal golf and top golf, but yeah, top golf's fun.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so I mean that was it. I got to do this, hang out with my family, have a chill time. They moved to Virginia, so I don't really have any friends, so I can't do the classic like, "Hey, mom, I'm home. Now I'm gonna go party."
Hmm.
I hang out with them now, so and I think that's really good.
That's yeah, get that quality time. Well, The reason I asked is because I thought it'd be a good transition into the country that we're going to be talking a lot about today because they don't celebrate Christmas there. So I want to talk about a place that doesn't celebrate Christmas, and that is Saudi Arabia.
Woo.
Yeah, hopefully no one, no government officials from Saudi Arabia are listening to this episode. I don't want to get my head chopped off for saying the wrong thing. But there's just been a couple news stories recently that I feel like we should talk about. And then I know that you have spent some nomad time in the country, so I thought, maybe you could shed some light on what it's like to actually live there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that sounds great, Steve.
Let's friggin' do it, dude. Okay, so the first one is, so have you heard about this megacity that they're building or attempting to
Yes.
build?
Yes. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know that it exists.
Yeah, it looks like Neom. Like, it's like neon with an M on the end of it. Neom,
Like a
I
different
guess.
color, maybe. It's not like it's interesting.
Yeah, so Neom. So I think, is this the one where it's like they just want it to be like one big building almost, or like one big line, and it's like the city?
Yeah, so that's the one that is the line as well. Like, and it looks really cool on like the travel mags. Like, yeah,
Oh,
I think it's a.
is that a different project?
I don't know. I thought that was the same thing.
Yeah, okay, I thought yeah, I think it is. Okay, cool.
Okay.
But I know, so recently the CEO of the project stepped down. I guess there was, yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But I guess there's been a lot of on site deaths. And there's been no evidence of safety procedures going on throughout this whole project. Apparently, one report said that there was 21,000 worker deaths on this project in 8 years.
Wait, what?
It seems like
21,000?
21,000, dude.
Dude, is that even possible? Do they even have 21,000 people to hire to do this job?
I know. I'm like, how big can this city be? Like, I get it's a mega city, but that's insane.
Like, would they arm all these people with like picks and shovels?
So that's the other thing. I guess there's been a lot of murders, sexual assaults, even suicides, like on the job site that have
Oh
been
my God.
reported. Of course, like the Saudi prince guy is like, oh no, like none of that happened, but he says a lot of stuff doesn't happen. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I guess the CEO, word on the street, rumor has it that he stepped down after like saying he was going to bury one of the dead workers in the desert and like cover up his body, something like that. So there was some shaky stuff going on there, and I think that's why he
Wait,
stepped down.
wait, what are you talking? Are you saying like the CEO personally was like hiding a body?
Yeah, like, or he like said that he would, like he threatened to do that, something like that.
Oh, like in a
Yeah, but
text or something.
yeah, something like that. So it's all alleged, I think, right now. But there was just a lot. There were a lot of eyes on this CEO and a lot of bad stuff going on. So he was like, "All right, I think I'm just gonna step down. Maybe go work on something else."
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be worse odds than like, being like a general or something. And like, I mean, you got 21,000 people that you're responsible that died. Like that sounds I don't know, way heavy on. I definitely quit. Like that's
Yeah,
insane. It's
yeah.
mind-boggling.
I'm pretty sure most CEOs would step down after like one person dies on the job.
Yeah. Like okay, so
Probably.
21,000 people die in 8 years. That's got to be like every day someone's dying, right?
Easily. I mean, I'm not a big math guy, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure 8 years, like that's way less than 21,000. So yeah, I'd say that's multiple people per day on average.
That's insane. Like, all right, day one of the project, guys. Like, let's get going. Like, someone dies. Like, day one. Like, set the tone.
Yeah, set the tone. Yeah. They're like, okay, well, that's how things are going to be.
All right, looks like I'm not taking PTO. They're pretty harsh around here.
I've heard of backbreaking work, but not life-taking work. So this is crazy.
That's
So
honestly insane. I mean, and that sucks. I wonder what the death reason is. Like, I mean, I imagine the heat, like working in the desert, must be, you know, crazy, right? Like,
yeah, I think it's pretty hot there, and like I said, so they don't have any safety precautions. So yeah, people are probably dying of dehydration, probably getting hit with whatever. They're building a mega city. There's probably stuff flying, metal bar. I'm just picturing like metal poles and stuff just flying around, hitting people in the head. But yeah, there's like gang shit going on. There's drug crimes, I guess, going on in like the camps that they have for the construction workers. So I think like it's just become like this like gangland. So
geez, that's maybe they should chill out a little bit, you know, like or figure out something to do there.
so they got something else going on. So this is our second piece of our
Okay.
Saudi Nomad news. So they've been working a lot, Saudi has, on their global rebrand, right? They've poured trillions of dollars into this because they have trillions of dollars to spend. So good for
Hmm.
them on that. They want to show the world, they're more than just oil and sketchy human rights, right?
And people
So
dying.
yeah, exactly. So they want to attract 150 million tourists, 150 million by the year 2030. And something that they're going to do, so they were just awarded the next World Cup. Not the next one that's going to happen because they announced this years in advance. The next one that's going to happen is actually in 2026 in North America.
Oh
So
yeah,
Canada, the U.S.,
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City. Kansas City is going to host, and then Mexico City and stuff is going to host some World Cup games. But then after that, in whatever the next one would be, 2030, they're going to be hosting the World Cup. And now I don't know if you remember when Qatar was awarded the World Cup, but it
Yeah.
was like really, it was really sketchy. Like it should have been England. I guess I remember watching a documentary about it, and like England received all the votes. Everyone was ready for it to be England, and then they were just announced like it's Qatar.
They're like, what? Never heard of that
Yeah,
place.
yeah. It like they had no no business hosting the World Cup whatsoever. Like they clearly just paid someone off because Qatar has that oil money as well, and it looks like that's what Saudi Arabia did here as well.
Wow. I guess it is goes the highest bidder. I wonder how much they had to put down for that. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, well, I do know this. So right now, Saudi Arabia is set to be the world's largest construction market. So the output is expected to reach 181 billion by the end of 2028. Just building new shit. So they're going to build 11 new stadiums, like just from scratch, for the World Cup, and then upgrade four others. And then one of the new stadiums is supposed to be in Neom, the mega city. So hopefully they get that done in time.
Wow, that's kind of insane, honestly. Okay, so they also did the whole like they have like a soccer league now, right? So that they're trying to promote with Cristiano. So maybe this is sort of like their plan. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it's all tied. Some people, people who care about human rights have been accusing the Saudis of doing something called sports washing, like
sports washing.
distracting. Yeah, I don't know. This is like a made up word, but basically distracting people from like all their human rights abuses. They're like, oh, don't worry about those 21,000 people who died building the mega city. Like, look at this new soccer stadium we have, and we're hosting the World Cup. Isn't this great? Like, don't worry about it.
You're like, hey, don't worry. Hey, look, we have Cristiano here. He loves it. He's feeling it. Like, he's thriving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think if like I can do some sports washing in my day to day. Like if my boss notices that I screw something up at work and I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, but have you heard about the Chiefs?
Yeah, like, do you know about him? Like,
Seriously, dude. Oh, don't worry about that customer. I know they're upset, but man, Patrick Mahomes just threw a touchdown to Travis Kelsey. Like that is
again.
great. Again. And then
Yeah.
my boss will be like, you know what? You're right. The Chiefs are sick.
Yeah.
Here's a promotion.
Why don't you take the rest of the day off?
Yeah. Man, you were busy watching the Chiefs last night. You must be tired.
Yeah.
Just take the day off.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I remember a girl I used to work with, she went on vacation for a whole month, came back, got promoted. So anything's possible. Literally. She got promoted the day she was back.
Maybe if she was doing a bad job before she went on vacation, like you can't do a bad job when you're not there. So really she was doing a better job while she was on vacation instead of doing a bad job while she was there.
Then she probably got demoted pretty quick after that when she started working again, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's we talk about fake it till you make it. I'm a firm believer in that. There are some people that are just really good at faking it. So,
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, we kind of call her vacation, I guess, like travel washing, you know? Oh, I'm not here.
travel washing.
Yeah, yeah.
What other washing can we do? Maybe like outfit washing, like
That
maybe
works.
maybe you're like a really shitty person, but you're dressed really well. Fashion washing, something like that. It's like, oh,
Oh,
this guy he's dressed in a suit. Like he can't be a bad person.
right. Yeah, that actually probably works.
I've actually heard that in the corporate world. If you're going to get really drunk, like at a happy hour or a company event, just dress really well. Like if you're dressed in a suit at the bar, like you look a lot less drunk. If you got a tie all buttoned up here, like people will be, oh, that guy's not drunk. Like he's all snazzy, looking clean cut. So yeah,
Yeah.
outfit washing.
Well, Steve, it's like when we went to the bar together and we were dressed up wearing suits in Colorado Springs, and people would come up to us and ask us for business advice while we're on the dance floor.
That was incredible. Yeah, I mean, we were in a Colorado Springs isn't exactly like a business tech hub like neighboring Denver. There were people that were just trying to get their careers off the ground, and they were like, oh, these guys clearly have it together. They're in suits.
Wow. They're still working and it's 11:30 at night? Wow.
That was incredible. Yeah, that was the same night where the bar across the street called the bar like we were asked to leave one bar
Hmm.
and they called the bar across the street and we're like, hey, if you see these guys in suits, don't let them in. And we came to the door and they're like, yeah, the guys across the street said not to let you guys in. We're like, wait, why are you guys even talking to each other?
Aren't you guys competitors? Like,
That was an interesting night.
yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. I guess the whole outfit washing didn't work out in that part because it was like we were dressed so nice, it was obvious like who to stop.
True, because yes, they don't really dress that way in Colorado Springs. If we would have been in, San Francisco or something, New York, yeah, we might have we fit in more with the suits, but not so much in the Springs.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. Well, next time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Saudi,
Okay,
I
so
mean, they're sport
yeah,
washing. They love,
sport washing.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just interesting stuff there. I know, Jack, we've talked a lot about Saudi Arabia before, especially when we've been in the Middle East, because I know they're just super hardcore about everything, and I've just really been curious about it. I've never been, obviously, you have, which is why I'm always asking you questions about it. But I'm sure our listeners have questions as well. So our location highlight today is going to be Jeddah and anywhere else you might have gone in Saudi Arabia, staying there as a digital nomad and all that good stuff. Yeah, I would love to hear more about it. So what's up with Jeddah, dude?
Yeah, so Jeddah, a little background. It's on the very west side of Saudi Arabia on the coast. Um, it's kind of by Neom, probably. It's south. It's much more south of it, but it's on the same coastline. It's the second largest city in Saudi Arabia, and it's so hot. It was, I know we're going to talk a lot about oppression in the next few minutes, but the heat was oppressive as well. Like it was crazy hot there. And we went in November, and so I do remember how hot it was. It was worse than Miami in the summer. But anyway, it was a very interesting place. I mean, I love going to places, Steve. I'm sure you like this too, where it's just like such a culture shock. It's so different from, where you grew up. And I feel like Saudi Arabia was definitely that kind of place. For like starters, we were taking the flight from Istanbul to Jeddah, and there's a bunch of people wearing these garments. They're like white clothes. They almost look like robes, kind of, and it's all the men are wearing that like on the flight to go to Jeddah from
Mm.
Istanbul. And we find out it's because they're beginning their pilgrimage, or they're in that stage of pilgrimage to go to Mecca. And Mecca is like the neighboring city to Jeddah. So you fly in and then you go to Mecca basically. But there,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just didn't realize that that's how you get to Mecca. You have to fly into Jeddah. I just assumed Mecca would have their own airport. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know what their airport situation is. So what's interesting about Mecca is that we can't go if we're not Muslim. Like
Oh,
the whole
damn.
city is off limits to us. Like an entire
Oh.
city, we're not allowed to go.
I remember that there are certain mosques that I've tried to visit in different countries, like in Turkey and stuff. And they're like, if you're not Muslim, you can't come in this mosque, or at least not at that time. It was like, maybe it was the prayer time or whatever. So they're like, get your white ass out of here.
Yeah, they're really for their people. They really ride or die with their homies. So
Sure.
yeah, so we can't go to that city, but it would be interesting. Just purely from a academic perspective. Like, could we go? Like, how would they know we aren't Muslim? I mean, I don't really know anything about Islam, but like, what if I studied up? A little Duolingo for Islam. Like, didn't shave. Like, you think we could make it in? Like,
I bet we could. Again, fake it till you make it. Who
yeah,
says we can't fake a religion? How hard could that be?
yeah. Like, I went to church for so long. Like, I got this. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty much faking Christianity my whole life when I was in church. Like, I wasn't paying attention to a single thing they were saying.
and the
I
priest
was
didn't
thinking
notice.
about, yeah, I was thinking about like Pokemon and whatever the hell else was going on in my life. I definitely wasn't like really engaged in those church sessions. So, yeah, I was faking it then, and I bet I could be pretty good at faking the Muslim thing.
Yeah, I faked it as well. And like my parents, they kind of like to have us sit up a little closer to the front. So I felt like it was just, all eyes on you. You're right up there. There's nothing between you and Jesus at that point.
Bro, I hated that. So, my family was huge and we were always late to mass. And like the front was that was the part that was always open by the time we arrived, right? Like no one wants to sit up front,
Right,
like
right.
you
Like the
said.
two, like the first row is just completely bare. So
Yeah.
you
So
you
my
come in
my
late.
big ass family comes in late. The priest is already yapping about God knows what, literally. And yeah, we just file into the first row or two, and everyone's watching us. And I hated that because then it was like even harder for me to fake it till I make it, because like you said, all eyes are on you, everyone can see you, so I really got to like stand up straight and like not fall asleep or anything like that. Like I really had to work harder in the front row, which sucked.
And I mean, yeah, you better be out there singing, praying a little longer than everyone else if you come in late.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
It's
no free
tough.
lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't leave after, so communion happens when there's like 15 minutes left in the mass. And what I would always beg my parents to do is leave after communion. I think we called it like OTAD, like out the door after communion or something like that. We but so yeah, but what the problem was is you couldn't leave directly after communion if you were in the front row, because that would be way too obvious. The priest is looking right at you. So
Right.
every time we were up there, we had to just stay the entire mass.
God.
Which is good though, because I think I'm more blessed now because I was worshiping so well and like just crushing it for God, that I think that's why I'm so happy and fortunate today, because I prayed so hard.
Yeah, and I'm sure being in the front row a few times, bumped your numbers up too. Like,
Yeah, for sure. No, yeah, God looks at that. Like he marks all that down.
Yeah,
Oh, you're in the back row today? I guess you don't love me or care about getting into heaven.
yeah. Oh, you get a couple points because you're standing, but you're still in the back row, but you're standing. Like, okay, like that is a sacrifice. But maybe you just don't want to, maybe you don't want to kneel. And this is funny, right? Like, I know we're getting way off topic here, but like, I remember, we're both, grew up Catholic, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's funny when you got to do like, there's many times where you got to kneel. Okay, it's like sometimes you're sitting, but then you got to kneel, and I would always like be like, man, why is that person not kneeling? Like there'd always be like a few people that wouldn't kneel, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they got like a bad knees or
Mm-hmm.
like bad
Old
back,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
older, and I'm like, man, I really wish that was my status. Like I would love to be like a permanent sitter. I always thought about that. I was like, man, these guys, they don't have to kneel. It's got to be way better for them.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they saw me not kneeling, they'd be like, "What is this kid doing? He's spry.
Yeah.
He can kneel."
Now, Steve, I had a really embarrassing church moment. I don't think I've ever told you this story.
Okay.
So I was like an altar boy. That's not the embarrassing part.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Yikes.
Yeah, yeah, okay. We're really, yeah. Yeah, hopefully
Okay, go on.
priest isn't subscribed. So I literally, I swear to God, literally, I swear to God, I am carrying the wine up the stairs in front of everyone, and I have a little fall in front of the whole church.
Mm.
Yeah. And it was pretty embarrassing. And what really got me to this day was the priest never asked if I'm okay. He just said, like, try not to do that again. I'm like, damn. Well, I mean, obviously, like, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I didn't mean to this time.
yeah. So,
He cared more about the wine than he cared about you. He's like, dude, I was gonna take that out tonight with my buddies, like the extra wine, and now you just spilled it all, so now I can't get drunk tonight.
yeah, I have nothing to bring to the monastery. Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, so he wasn't happy about that, but So anyway, I think what we're trying to say is that we could make it happen. We could go to Mecca.
I'm down. We'll put that on one of our bucket list items for 2025. Make it to Mecca.
Because that's the place with like, and I don't want to butcher it, but it's like the big cube thing, like the big black cube
Hmm.
thing in the middle where you walk around. Like I think that's
Yeah,
the main attraction.
yeah, the attraction.
Yeah, so that would be cool. But anyway, yeah, so Jeddah is sort of the gateway to Mecca, Islam's holiest city, and we can't go technically. And so these
Okay.
Muslims on the plane are wearing like this all white dress. It's not like the thob or like the normal white that you would see. It's like more like looks more like cloth robes rather than like an actual outfit, if that makes sense.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
So Jeddah is interesting because it's a pretty modern city. Like they have really good infrastructure. They had super nice malls. They had a Shake Shack. They had Hardee's. It was very interesting. The mall is basically all American stores. They just don't have like American rules, I would say. But they do love all of our stuff, which I think is great. Shout out to them for that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if this is okay to say, but yeah, I feel like Arab people freaking love shopping. Like I see them in like every mall I go to around the world. There's just a ton of Arab people. Like just probably because they have money and they're just crushing the mall. So good for them.
Well, and I realized this too when I was in Jeddah, right? Like it's so hot out that if I want to like walk around, like actually walking around the mall might be your best option. Like I wonder if
True,
there's like there it's so like they all live in the desert, right? So it's probably really uncomfortable to walk around outside.
especially in the outfits.
Exactly. I mean, there's got to be even hotter.
But yeah, I
We're
feel like we
probably
kind
so
of did
wrong
that
on
in
that.
Dubai. No, I mean, I think we did that in Dubai a little bit, Jack. I mean, we were at the pool the one day, but I feel like we spent a lot of time in the mall because it was air conditioned and it was nice.
Yeah, it was like felt great in there. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's my theory. I feel like they love that their environment has driven them to malls.
That's adapting. I like it. Yeah.
So yeah, the mall was very interesting. Another thing was the lady I was with, she was like wearing normal jeans, but they had like sort of like designery holes in them, like nothing crazy. And people were like pointing and like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like visibly not like upset, but like more like in awe, like they couldn't believe what they were seeing, kind of thing. And I thought that was weird. I don't know. I just feel like in a globalized world today, in a mall that has essentially global brands in it, like that you would everyone would be like fairly they've seen something like that before, right? But it really felt like that was like incredibly abnormal. They couldn't believe it was happening type of situation.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so the women there, they normally wear like the niqab, which is like that's like the sort of like full dress plus face covering with just the eye slit. So it's a pretty conservative look.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you can't see anything more than the eyes,
Yeah.
it's like you don't even have an identity.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And what's crazy is, so I think the niqab that's like in Saudi, that is sort of where it's most common, that particular form. But then they also kind of have this like V2, which is like the burqa, which is like full veil over the eyes and the face. So it's like you can't
Jesus.
even like see their eyes at that. There's like a grill sort of thing, almost like that, and so you can't see. It's like a one-way mirror. Like you can't see them, but they can see you.
Right. It's like the mascots, like Chuck E. Cheese, like it
Yeah,
just looks like Chuck E. Cheese to the outsiders, but he can see you. Dude, okay, how do these guys date? Okay, like how like in Saudi Arabia, like when they're walking around and the women are like maybe showing their eyes, maybe not even showing their eyes, are they like, "Oh, there's like a hot chick over there, like oh, she has nice shoes." Maybe like that's the only differentiator. Like you
yeah,
can't even really see what they look like. So like how does that work?
yeah. I guess you got to go off personality, but I do think that there's still sort of like this idea of arrangement in marriages too,
Oh,
like by the family and things like that. And I believe they don't do any sexual stuff pre-marriage as well. So, oh, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. But I wonder what the
true.
stages are. So one of my friends who visited Saudi with me was actually born and grew up there for up until he was about 14 or 15, and then he moved to America. And so he was telling us all this stuff, and he was single at the time, right? So I'm like, Lee, all right, dude, you're single. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I want to hear the plan, right? Because this is great. And so he downloads an app, and it's called Muzz Match, Muzz Match.
Uh,
Okay, and it's like, it's like Tinder or whatever, but everyone on there is Muslim, and like the girls are on there, you still can't see them, but they just,
oh
they
my
have
god.
like, they talk about their, well, you got the pic of them, but like in the thing.
Okay.
So so you're like swiping on these chicks, and I think you got to read the bio and everything. You got to see which one really resonates with you. So I thought that was a really interesting, and it's cool. They have their own app. Like that's great. Like that means everyone's kind
Yeah.
of, they're kind of with the program there.
Yeah, I mean if Christians can have Christian mingle, then why not Muzz match? Let's go.
Yeah, like farmers meat. Like we got that kind of stuff in Kansas. We understand. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, honestly, that they had that. He didn't find it. He didn't find his person, but maybe he's got to keep swiping or something.
Keep swiping, and hopefully you get to meet the girls in person because you really gotta talk to them and know their personality to really, because it's not gonna be based on looks. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's a big leap of faith. Like, obviously, all looks aren't the only thing, but they do matter. And
Right? Yeah, I care about what's inside for sure.
yeah, but yeah, everything matters. So it's just
Yes, that's part of
like,
it. Part of the
yeah.
equation. Yeah.
So that's interesting. But, aside from that, I felt like everyone was super nice. I mean, people would come up and talk to us, even though they were kind of gawking at us a little bit with the jeans. They would come up, and it was more out of curiosity than like shame or something like that.
Right.
Like
Okay.
they were
Yeah.
super interested. They figured obviously we weren't from there, and they asked us questions about where we were at and everything. They pointed us to the gym, and there's a ladies gym and a men's gym. It's not a mingle, which is interesting, right? It's like it makes you think about, okay, so if everyone's got it, or if it's highly encouraged to dress, very conservatively. I mean, you can't really like work out with the opposite sex. I mean, like,
Interesting.
because you're like
Yeah.
sweating and stuff, and I'm sure they're not wearing the burqa when they're like, doing Orange Theory. Like, there's no way, right? Like,
I would hope not, dude. Working out in that, yeah, you'd be tripping all over yourself. There'd be fabric all up in your crevices. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So that's good though. It helps chicks not get hit on by douchey guys in the gym. Yeah,
yeah.
there should probably be women's only gyms in the States as well if they want, because I know some guys can be a little, just douchey.
I wonder if that's a thing. Like, I mean, that might be a thing. I don't know. Like women's only. Yeah, I feel like women would maybe like that.
Yeah, it might be. I think I've maybe heard of that, but yeah, obviously it's not always like that, like it is in Saudi, where every gym is that way. But yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, so I think the other sort of main thing that happened when I was in Jeddah was I had my 30th birthday um, in Jeddah, and
wait, you're
we all.
30? You're over 30?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I
Oh,
am.
okay,
That
cool.
was a
Yeah.
few years ago, Steve. Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay. So, my 30th birthday, it's like, okay, let's go do something. And so we essentially try to find like a bar or something, right? And obviously, alcohol's banned in the country. So we go to this Western, they advertise like this is a Western style bar. And you walk in, it's got like the low lighting, some like neon purple. It almost looks like a Hula Hands if people know what that kind of restaurant is. And the waiter's like, oh my gosh, like, it's like it's almost like they have this whole fake thing set up, and then the real deal comes in. They're like, wow, okay, like, every all the Saudis love our restaurant. We'll see like what the real thing, and an American
Mhm.
like our American style restaurant. Like, this is a big test for us. And so they start rattling off like, okay, we got like the best imported German non-alcoholic beer you can buy. Like, you got to try this beer. It's incredible. Uh, so I got one of those, and I got some wine that tasted like grape juice. Essentially, it's crazy when you take out it literally is grape juice at that point.
Do they sell food at these places?
Yeah, I ended up just eating a ton of food because I was like, I think I'll just take a water. To me, like,
Yeah,
I mean, I like beer, right? But like, if it's not doing anything for me, like, I'll choose something. I'll get a juice or something.
for sure. It doesn't taste that good.
Yeah, like it's been a while since I've been in a frat, so like, I don't need a beer like that anymore. But yeah, so I thought that was a little bit weird. And it was funny too. They had like Jenga and like Connect Four, like, so I feel like kind of like classic board games or table games for people to drink and everything. So I thought that was really fun. There wasn't really anyone else in there, so we kind of had the whole place, and they were just like, like all the attention was on us, and that was great. And then also we smoked hookah because it's like, okay, well, I got to have some vice on my 30th birthday for a little bit at
Yeah,
least.
yeah,
Like,
that's good.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, Jeddah is an interesting place. They have a really nice like Corniche. They're still kind of building, and they have a lot of malls, and it's very modern. You can't really walk anywhere. I feel like it's a very much of a driving type of area, which I mean, I guess is kind of like home. You can't. There's not a lot of public transportation. It seemed like so. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay, but it's developed. You would say it's not. We go to a lot of countries that are cheap. Maybe there's a lot of poverty, stuff like that. You wouldn't say that's the vibe there.
No, I mean, I felt like it was super, super developed. I felt like it was one of those countries where people immigrate too. I felt like there was a lot of immigrants. We met a lot of immigrants from like Afghanistan and India and different countries like that. And it seemed like a lot of people there were fairly happy to be working there. I don't exactly know their situation, but that is how it is. Yeah.
Would you go back to Saudi Arabia? I know we're going to go to Mecca and kind of make our pilgrimage. Are there any other cities there that you heard about? Anything else that you want to experience?
I mean, we got to go to Neom, obviously, once
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
built. And I want to go to Riyadh. I mean, I've heard cool things. I met someone who lived there, and they say it's like a really fun city and you can totally party and totally have a good time. You just got to like know the right people. So since I feel like I know someone now, I could go.
Right. So it's like undercover partying. Like they party, but they try to hide it from everyone. Right.
It's like Steve when we're in Denver and we're like, "Oh, dude, let's go to the speakeasy." Like, but it's like actually a speakeasy in Saudi.
Yeah. Like the fake speakeasies that people are, oh, you need a password. And I'm like, dude, what if I got the password wrong? Like in this economy, you think they're just gonna not let me in and turn away business? Like I don't think
Yeah.
so. Like those things are so
Yeah.
stupid.
The password is I brought my wallet, like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or like I feel like what was the one in Denver where it was like you had to open up a freezer door and like you would go in and
Dude,
there was like two freezer doors, right? And I would open up the wrong one and it was actually a freezer. And I was like kind of drunk and I'm like walking in there and the bartender in like the non-speakeasy part was like, "Dude, wrong door."
bro,
Oh, okay.
it was an ice cream place
Oh.
in like Uptown or something, and you go behind. It's like it's on the outside. It is a real ice cream shop, but then there's like a speakeasy bar behind the ice cream thing, and that's why it's a freezer door that you go into.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
it's
Yes.
cool though. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, like once you got into the bar, it was pretty cool, and then you can get ice cream after. So who doesn't love ice cream?
Yeah, no, great, no, great setup and everything, and I still like a little bit of the sneakiness of it, even though I know they definitely have a liquor license. But like, it's cool, I imagine we go to Saudi, we could do the real thing. Like, it'll be like prohibition again, kind of get away
Dude.
with it. Live
Yeah,
life
that'd
on
be
the
fun.
edge,
Feel like you're like a kid again, like sneaking alcohol or whatever around. Like, yeah,
yeah,
that could be nostalgic in a way.
just like with
Um,
real adult consequences.
yeah, so like instead of getting grounded or like suspended from school, they would like stab us or something, like chop our heads
Yeah.
off. But whatever, like that just makes it even more high risk and exciting.
And if you think about this, right, everyone knows that, right? So you go into that party, I guarantee you people are having a great time. They're like, "Look, like we don't get to do this. We could get busted at any moment. Like let's have a good
True.
time. Let's not just sit on our phones and not talk to anyone. Like this is our moment.
That's so true. Yeah, savor the moment, make it count. Like if I'm gonna risk getting my fingers chopped off by the Saudi prince's goons, like I'm
Yeah.
gonna live it up. Yeah,
I'm ordering a double. Like let's go.
yeah.
Like
All right, that sounds sick. Okay, cool. We'll add that to the list, man. 2025
maybe
Saudi party
that can be like our like once we complete the pilgrimage. Like
to
that'll be
celebrate.
Yeah, and we can tell all them at the bar like why we're celebrating. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want a pilgrimage hungover. Like we got to drink and party after the pilgrimage. Because yeah, that doesn't sound like a fun thing to do after a night.
Especially if we got to kind of be, like spiritual and like, think and like Duolingo some Arabic or something. Like
Hmm.
we probably want to we want to get that out of the way.
True, true. Yeah, I don't want to like spill beer on my Quran or something like that. Like I need the holy book. So
Yeah, they're going to smell the beer on the Quran and we're going to get caught.
that's how we would get caught right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Sir, your Quran smells like beer.
Oh man,
That is okay. We
this
are
might
just
be our riskiest episode. I don't know. We've said some dumb shit on here before, but this one,
Yeah, this okay. We can yeah, take it back a little bit, but it's a very different culture from us, and Yeah, I would totally go to Riyadh again. I actually found out also about this hotel that's like out in the middle of nowhere in like some cool desert. That's supposed to be great. I think Kanye tweeted about it or something.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, the picture. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, so I would go there too. Yeah.
That did look cool. Whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, the hotel. Wait,
Yeah.
is that in Saudi the one that's like made out of sand or something?
I don't
It may not
know.
be in Saudi, but well, we might have to look that one up later. But I remember seeing one on TV. It was somewhere in the Middle East, maybe like another one of those Gulf countries, or like the UAE or whatever. But like the whole hotel is made out of sand or something like that, and it's really hard to upkeep it because like if the wind blows, like part of the building just like blows away. And but it looks really cool. It's like a castle made out of sand.
I'd be down as long as it doesn't like crumble or something when I'm sleeping. Like, it sounds cool.
I
Yeah.
No promises, man. But that's good shit. What else do you got about Jeddah? Anything?
No, I think I kind of covered it. I felt like the food was really good. Now, I don't
Oh,
know if I had like a ton of traditional Saudi food, but in general, I love that food from that part of the world. The shawarmas, they had some good fish as well, like 'cause on the coast. So yeah, at least they got good
nice.
food. So
That's good. Yeah, I heard that certain countries where people are really oppressed, like North Korea and stuff. I've heard the food there is just terrible. Like they don't even have good food. Kind of like we talked about Albania last episode. Like they didn't get any imports because they have bad relationships with other countries, so they're not getting all the good food imported from other countries. But yeah, maybe that's not the case in Saudi. So that's good.
but yeah, it sounds like we have a lot to do after this episode, Steve. We got a pilgrimage. I've never been on a pilgrimage.
I don't think I got baptized and confirmed. Did you get confirmed?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I got confirmed and did some other, retreats and some camps when I was younger. Yeah, never a pilgrimage though. That sounds way cooler.
Yeah, and it seems to be like a pretty involved thing that they have to do. And so, I mean, imagine, if you're on the other side of the world and you got to go to Mecca, it's kind of a long flight.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that's so I learned in the Muslim faith there's I forget how many pillars there are, like four pillars or something. Like one of them is giving to charity, one of them is doing the prayers 5 times a day or whatever, but one of them is making the pilgrimage to Mecca. So technically, every Muslim person is supposed to make that pilgrimage
Like once in their life.
once in their lifetime. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, definitely. I think us talking about sneaking in and doing it. Yeah, it's probably really offensive for certain people because it is like a really
Yeah,
it's like
that's
a really serious thing for people. So, but that's why we're comedians. We're it's comedy. It's showbiz. We're just
yeah, we're just
messing around, but
we
we
got
are
the
gonna do
reaction we
it.
were
It's
looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how you go viral these days is just I think you just make people mad. Like there's certain trolls on the
Dude.
internet. I swear everything that they say is just to piss people off to get engagement these days, which is pretty lame. I think we're better than that. Just not
Dude, I know.
today.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting like those like streamers who they will make, they'll like prank people like in the supermarket or something for views. And it's kind of
God,
mean, like it's kind of
those
sad.
guys are those guys are so annoying. Like,
Yeah.
okay, early YouTube days before everyone was doing it. Like, okay, it was kind of funny. I was also more immature. Like when I watched those, and I was like, oh, this is pretty funny. But
Hmm.
now I'm just like, dude, get a life. Like, yeah, these people are just in the grocery store trying to live their lives, and you're out here like pranking them. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, I know. I got work soon. Go away.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Let's get serious about Mexico offline. We'll take that offline, and
Okay.
we'll plan to meet up there and maybe do some in-person podcast episodes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we have not seen each other in person since the pod started.
Well, I think Dubai. Did we not start it yet when we were in Dubai?
I thought we started it like we didn't do one
Right
episode yet.
after. You're right. You're right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had like planned on it. Okay.
We
Yeah.
had the kickoff.
So interesting. Yeah, dude. We haven't hung out since we've been podcasters officially. All right. Yeah. Let's do it, bro.
Yeah, let's hang out. So yeah.
Let's make some t-shirts or something.
Okay, cool. I'm down.
All right. That was a good one. Hopefully, we don't get sued or thrown into or buried in Neom by the ex CEO. You know, get our dicks cut off by the Saudi prince.
Yeah, yeah, nothing with our dicks for sure. But and also, I don't want to get banned from going when the project is complete. Like, I do want to know.
Right.
I want to know, what does $1 trillion construction budget look like?
Oh,
Like
we're
what?
getting in there one way or another. That's for sure.
Yeah, like damn.
All right. Well, I think that's good. Until next time, everyone.
Take a weird trip.